Life can present so many dark moments, but when you're sitting in the dark, you tend to believe that you have been abandoned, or that you are alone, or that you're scared, but you're in the same place. Where is the light? The same God who brought you into the light is the same God who will support you in the dark. The same gifts and talents that you had with the lights on are the same talents and gifts that you have when the lights go out. It's easy to use your childhood as a crutch instead of seeing it as a chisel. There are so many crutches that people want to use to justify themselves, but for me, you have to eliminate each one of them, get rid of all of them, then say, you that it's up to you to see what are you. Go do it now that you all let go. These crutches, blaming others, is an easy way out. Life is a game, and the rules of the game require that we constantly lean toward a goal of growth. We want to be living a life fulfilled and meaningful without anxiety or depression, shame or guilt, a life of sovereignty and freedom, to have the peace of mind and deep sleep when I go to bed at night, because I does not carry the weight of guilt and shame that is man, the idealized version of myself that I am building. We all have the duty to become and create the most idealized ourselves, the man that we needed in our lives. You don't even need faith when you're in the light, because you can see everything, but when life gets dark, when things turn, well, this is where you need faith to remind you where things were, to remind you that if I can only look up I can see things, stars. If I can see stars, then I can see that there are glimmers of light even in the darkest moments of my life. Often in life, when things don't happen as we want, or we meet something immediately we want, understand right away, we want to understand. If we want to understand it, we want to know, hey man, what is this? Well, and sometimes something can be so difficult, that can be so difficult that you're not going to understand it. I talk about it can be so real that you're not going to understand that. It could be so real that you can't go to the Bible and get a verse for it. You have that could being so real that you're not going to understand it. You just have to survive it. Well, and by surviving it, the lesson has passed. The blessings come, the perspective comes, the more important, and I hope that peace comes, and that you feel guilty, shame, anxiety, depressions, usually because you live incongruously with the man that you want to be, and therefore your consciousness reminds you that you want to be 2.0. You tell yourself that you're going to live a better life, you're going to be without vice. You go focus on your nutrition and your diet, and you're going to focus on your family and your state of mind, but you don't, and you give in to the tender supplications and the desires of life, and you ignore your duty and your purpose, and as a byproduct, you start to suffer in silence. And you know that most men live lives of quiet despair. You will have good days and you will have bad days, but you're still learning something more or something new, and you will learn more about the bad days than the good days. You will learn more about the relationships. You will learn about life and the principles that will build your character. But unless you know number 1 thing, who are you, what is your worth? Number 2, what is your purpose here in life? And number 3, what is your destiny when you're done here? If you don't know the answers to none of the mysterious questions that I am more disabled than I am, that there is a light that I must just adjust my eyes to, you see that the light represents the hope that life represents. There is still a glimmer of opportunity. Therefore, do you realize that even in the day that the darkest trees in the caves are still growing, things are still growing, because there is enough light that penetrates so that he can maintain himself, and he will grow towards the light. He will find his way to him as you must, no matter how many moments pass. It seems to you that I've been abandoned, you haven't. When it's scary to jumping in is exactly when you jump, otherwise, you end up staying at the same place all your life. If you break, the fight is just beginning, and as you crawl up and down this gloomy and miserable place, you're covered in blood, from sweat, dirt, and grime, as you rise above what you were, and that you take the form who you're supposed to be about, you'll see that in the very act of getting up, in the very act of fighting over, you will become and you will remain in. Assume the responsibility that you Make sure that you don't give up on that. You did not take any objection or disappointment or defeat personally, that you continuing on this. You don't decide that I can't do it, because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, that you realize that this is part of the program and here is something you need to solve. Say this to yourself every day: is as long as are you breathing. You screamed at a dream, it's not over until I win. Sometimes things are going to be so difficult. Stop fighting him, stop trying to understanding, just surviving takes all this energy, and just survive like a brother, the day after day, moment by moment, situation by the situation. Just survive, and then you're going to get to a place where you're going be at the top of the mountain one day, and you're going to say, man, I see exactly why I had to cope and get through this. Thank you.